G'day, I'm Mark from Self-Sufficient Me, and today I want to share with you guys my 5 top citrus trees to grow and why. Now, I'm a huge fan of citrus trees. We've been growing them now for 15 years. We have 29 different varieties here on our property, and you could say I've got a bit of an obsession with growing citrus. And well, for good reason. Personally, I haven't had a cold in about 5 years. Seriously, and I'll put this down to the amount of citrus that I eat. I've ranked these 5 citrus trees in order, the last one being my best pick, but in truth, they're all absolutely awesome citrus trees to grow. So let's take a wander through the orchard and check them out. Number 1, the Washington Naval Orange. This orange was first planted in California. It was about 8 cuttings, I believe, and subsequently named the Washington Naval Orange from there. At about the same time, they were also planted here in Australia, and to this day, it's our oldest and most popular backyard orange tree to grow. It's a fair sized tree. If you let it grow and don't prune it back, it'll get to about 5 meters high. It has a good shape, it's quite strong, and it looks good in the backyard. It produces regular, good yields of fruit. The fruit is large and sweet with little or no seeds. It's an amazing tasting orange, like just the best in my opinion. It has a beautiful sweet flesh. It's not overly juicy, so it doesn't make for a great juicing orange. However, it's a terrific eating orange. Excellent for sport. Like, I take oranges to our AFL footy team for the juniors, and the kids just love eating them. Definitely a worthwhile orange tree to grow in the backyard. Number 2, the Imperial Mandarine. Now, this is actually right next to the Washington orange tree that I just showed you, and it's another great older variety. This tree in particular is about 15 years old. It has a strong frame and an upright type of growth, and it too will get about 5 meters high. The thing about this mandarine is it doesn't sprawl out like the orange or other type of citruses, lemon trees. This one here is a more hourglass type figure, and it's not just because I've pruned it that way. So it's a really handsome looking tree. The fruit is excellent tasting, really well balanced. It's not overly sweet, but it's not tart either. It's right in the middle there, and that's probably why it's such a big favourite across the world, and in particular in Australia. I mean, even my dog Scooter loves them. It's a medium to large fruit with a very juicy flesh, and it's really easy to peel. It does have seeds though. However, they can be easily taken out by just biting the centre of the fruit segment, and the seeds will come right out. You can just spit them out and eat them, or just swallow them, seed and all, like my dog does. This tree is a really heavy cropper. Like, I mean, it's ridiculous in fruit, but there is a caveat. It can be a biannual fruiter. Biannual means it'll fruit 1 year and then skip the next year. So what we do to compensate for that is we grow other varieties of mandarines, like honey murcot is a good one, and it also fruits after this one. So you've got spreading of the season plus the compensation for it being a biannual fruiter, if it works out that way. Number 3, the Tahitian lime. Look at this magnificent tree. It's hard to even get it in picture. It is so fantastic. This is a large tree, but you can keep it down to around 2.5 or 3 meters if you want. This particular tree is over 5 meters. It's more like about 6.5. As you can see, it's a beautiful specimen with dark green leaves and plenty of fruit forming on it. It always has fruit. The fruit are generally about 8-ball size or a snooker ball size, but they can get bigger, like a size of a small lemon or so. You know, that depends on how much feed you give it and also rainfall at the right time of year. The fruit are green and can be picked green, but they also go yellow when they're fully ripe. Yellow just like a lemon. Some people actually say don't let the fruit get yellow because it might rot on the tree. But I tell you what, over the last decade or so, I haven't seen any signs of that happening. You know, you might get the odd blemish in the fruit, but I've let these go right until they're completely yellow and dropping off the tree. And even underneath the tree underground for several weeks, they're still not rotting. You can still pick them up and take them inside and juice them. The fruit does sweeten a little bit more as it gets older. This is a truly amazing tree. And for us here, it produces fruit all year. I'm not kidding. All year, no matter when, we can always come down and count on a lime being on the tree and available for whenever we need it. It has been doing this for a good last 8 or 10 years, producing fruit continuously. Number 4, the Valencia Orange. What a fantastic name. Did you know that the Valencia Orange juice, the squeezed juice, lasts longer than any other squeezed orange juice of any other variety? Yeah, true story. And speaking of juice, it is hands down the best orange juice you can drink. We talked about the Washington Naval Orange and how fantastic that is. Well, where the Washington Naval Orange beats the Valencia Orange in eating the fruit whole, the Valencia Orange smashes the Washington Orange in juicing. It has that perfect balance of not being overly sweet, but just right for good thirst quenching orange juice. The overall and real outstanding attribute of the Valencia Orange is how long the fruit stays on the tree. And what I mean by that is when the fruit is ready to be picked, it will stay hanging on the tree for almost as long as you want it to. Whereas other citrus will drop the fruit when it ripens, the Valencia Orange will just keep hold of them. And that is very, very convenient, especially for the backyard grower when you only want to harvest as much as you need. Because if you harvest it all at once, you've got fruit sitting in the fruit bowl, sitting in the crisper, going mouldy and going off. Whereas with the Valencia Orange, you just pick as much as you need, juice it or eat it, and then leave the rest on the tree. And I can kid you not, we've had fruit on this tree 3 months after the season has ended. So it's a great extension of cropping for oranges. You can have your Washington, you can have your Lane's Late Naval, you can have your red scented oranges, and you can eat them first. And what we do is we leave this tree right to the very last and harvest that at the end. So you're extending your orange season well past its date. The Valencia oranges, the fruit isn't huge. It's about a medium size. And as you can see, the tree itself, it's not that big either. They don't tend to get very large, 3.5 meters or so tall. And also, there is now a seedless Valencia variety. Here it is here. Isn't he cute? And the final and best, number 5, the Meyer Lemon. Now, if you watch my videos quite a bit, you'd know what I think of this magnificent citrus fruit tree. This lemon is actually a cross between a lemon and an orange, believe it or not. But I can tell you now, there's no orange in it at all. It definitely is a lemon. You can't just be eating it straight like that. Well, I can't anyway. The tree itself isn't really big, as you can see behind me, but it does have a spreading type of habit. So it's not like the hourglass, like the Imperial Mandarine we just talked about before. This one here likes to spread right out and have loopy, lanky limbs. And you can adjust that, of course, with pruning, but generally this is the shape of the Meyer Lemon tree. The fruit, probably because it is a cross between an orange and a lemon, are quite large, especially if you give it a fair bit of water during fruiting and flowering. They can get nice and big. And the flavour, you know, it's tart, just like a lemon, but it's not overly acidic. So I think it's got a really great balance and lemony flavour. Really good for an all-round lemon. With the right treatment, oh my God, this tree can produce fruit. Like, it is probably the best producer of fruit than any other citrus tree that I've seen or tried or have. And if you don't believe me, just take a look at my video, How to Grow a Ton of Lemons. Watch it after this and you'll see what I mean by how prolific this thing can fruit. The other thing is, being a lemon, it can tolerate colder weather better than any other citrus. So if you live in a really cold climate and you want to get a good vitamin C fix and grow a citrus tree, get a Meyer Lemon. Grows really good in pots and grows plenty of fruit and will tolerate the cold more. I think it's probably apt that we wrap the video up staying in front of this fantastic example of a citrus tree. All these varieties that I've showed you today are grafted, which means they're bits or stems of the tree that have been grafted onto usually aggressive rootstock, citrus rootstock. And that means some of these trees are cloned back to over 200 years ago. That's pretty amazing when you think about it. Keep in mind, if you've got a small backyard, citrus are perfect for putting into pots. You can prune them down, or you can get the dwarf varieties with the same names, but just on dwarf rootstock, and they'll grow fantastic in pots. And that's my top 5 citrus varieties to grow in your backyard. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, it's important that you give it a thumbs up and share it. Go to my channel, watch some of the other videos, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye for now.